Gloria Takes a Stand: How Gloria Steinem Listened, Wrote, and Changed the World by Jessica M. Rinker. Illustrated by Daria Peoples Riley. When Gloria Steinem was a little girl in the 1940s, her family traveled all around the United States to buy and sell antiques for her father's business. Instead of going to school, Gloria helped her parents. From town to town they went, searching for sparkling jewelry, delicate bowls, and pretty plates. Gloria watched, she learned, and helped. One day, Gloria saw something she wanted for herself. She asked her dad for a nickel. When he asked what she wanted to buy with the nickel, Gloria said, "You can give it to me or not give it to me, but you can't ask me what it's for." "You're absolutely right," Gloria heard. She also heard, "You're a smart kid." Gloria's parents liked how she thought for herself and could speak her mind well. Her dad gave her the coin. Although she liked traveling, it was difficult for Gloria to make friends. Deep down, she wanted a regular stay in one place life like the other kids had. She wanted to go to school instead of learning in the back seat of the car. Then one day, Gloria finally got the house without wheels she'd been hoping for. Gloria wished, she read, and imagined. Her parents were separating, though, so her home wasn't as perfect as she'd imagined. However, Gloria made many friends living in her new town of Toledo, Ohio. She took dance lessons and loved school. She spent a lot of time reading books by her favorite authors and imagining herself as the heroine of the story. By the time Gloria was a teenager, she knew she would go to college. But it was the 1950s, and many colleges didn't allow girls to enroll. Gloria heard, "Education is a waste of time for a girl. Women should be wives and mothers only." Gloria wanted to go to college anyway. Her mother knew education was so important that she sold their home in order for Gloria to have enough money to attend. She went to Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts. In college, there were ideas, books, and discussions about everything. Gloria was most interested in government. She worked hard and achieved top honors. Gloria thought, she questioned, and learned. As graduation approached, Gloria still heard, "When are you going to get married?" She heard, "You should start a family soon." But Gloria knew women could decide for themselves when to start a family. She said, "Decisions are best made by the people affected by them." Gloria didn't want to get married or start a family yet. She realized she missed traveling. So, when she graduated from college in 1956, she decided to set out on a different adventure. Writing and traveling in India. While there, Gloria saw people gather in villages and homes when there were problems to be discussed. They talked to one another instead of hurting people or damaging property, something they learned from a teacher named Mahatma Gandhi. They talked about their lives, jobs, and families. They made decisions together and came up with peaceful ways to make changes. Gloria listened, she watched, and wrote. She said, "If you want people to listen to you, you have to listen to them." After she came back to the United States and began looking for a job, Gloria heard, "Some jobs are for women, but most are for men." She heard, "You should be a secretary or a teacher." But Gloria wanted to decide for herself what job she would take. She became a journalist and wrote articles for magazines and newspapers. Everywhere she traveled for her job, people talked to her about their lives. Gloria listened to their hopes and dreams and asked them what they wish were different. She learned so much by talking to the people she met every day. She said, "Writing is the only thing that when I do it, I don't feel I should be doing something else." The men in charge of the magazines wanted to tell Gloria what to write about. Gloria heard, "We want more stories about famous movie stars, big secrets, and scandals." But Gloria wanted to write about important issues and people trying to make a difference in the world. So in 1963, Gloria asked her boss if she could go to the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom and write a story about Martin Luther King Jr. Her boss said no. Gloria decided to go anyway. At the march in Washington, D.C., there were lots of men on stage who spoke about freedom and equal rights for people of color. In many places, Black people were not allowed to go to the same schools, restaurants, or even the same restrooms as white people. The huge crowds listening wanted to learn how to change these unfair laws. Martin Luther King Jr. inspired people to dream of a better world and fight for what is right, equality for all people. Gloria believed, she marched, and dreamed. She said, dreaming, after all, is a form of planning. Gloria heard the women in the crowd too. Who will tell our stories? The stories of mothers and sisters and wives and aunts. Who will talk about raising children and taking care of older parents and making enough money to feed our families? Not only were laws different depending on the color of a person's skin, women were also struggling to gain the same rights as men. They didn't make as much money as men. They could be fired if they became pregnant. Women couldn't apply for checking accounts or credit cards without their husband's or father's signature. These kinds of restrictions made it impossible for women to take care of themselves. No one was listening. But Gloria was listening. People of color are not less important than white people, and women are not less important than men. Gloria said, imagine we are linked, not ranked. As the 1970s approached, things were beginning to change slowly, but women still faced opposition. They were tired of hearing what other people thought they should do. Women needed a safe place to speak. So Gloria decided to do something about it. In 1971, Gloria started Miss magazine with her friend Dorothy Pittman Hughes. Miss was the first magazine owned and written by women. Now women could write and read about the topics that were important to them. Miss published articles about women who were changing laws, making choices for their own bodies, and protecting themselves from violence. These were the articles, protests, and poetry and art. These were stories about female astronauts, secretaries, and even Wonder Woman. Women wanted a better world for women. Miss Magazine helped. Gloria paid attention, she planned, and spoke. Gloria began organizing groups for women to talk about the changes they needed, just like she had been in India when people gathered. She believed girls need to know they can break the rules. This became known as the women's liberation movement, and the women and men involved were called feminists. A feminist believes that all people should have equal opportunities. Gloria said, feminism is about making life more fair for women everywhere. People looked to Gloria as one of the leaders of the movement, and they wanted her to speak around the country. At first, it was scary for Gloria to speak in front of large groups of people, but she always had other women with her, like her friend Dorothy. Another woman who traveled and spoke to women with Gloria was her friend Bella Abzug. Bella was a congresswoman, lawyer, and feminist. Like Gloria, Bella was also fighting for change. Each woman had important issues to talk about. Together, they could reach more people. When it was Gloria's turn on stage, she didn't feel alone. She thought about all the women she'd met during her trips, all the stories she'd read in her magazine, and all of the amazing jobs women were doing now. Poets, politicians, doctors, mothers, lawyers, activists, homemakers. Their stories were all within her. Their stories made her strong. Gloria remembered. She stood and shouted. Gloria said, the future depends entirely on what each of us does every day. Because of all the work Gloria and other feminists did, today girls hear. Where are you going to college? What do you want to be when you grow up? Resist, persist. Black Lives Matter. The future is yours. Do you want to have children? What kind of changes do you want to make? Be yourself. Gloria doesn't travel as much as she once did, but she still fights for equal rights for all women, for all people. Gloria still writes, she still speaks, and still listens. And she still wants girls and boys to stand up and speak for equal rights for all people. Listen, dream, speak.